Yo, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Trusted Signals how-to videos. So we're gonna run down how the settings work and how I like to use the settings. So here we have Trusted Signals. As you can see, we're looking at US 30. US 30 is the big payer, I'll tell you that. Trusted Signals and US 30, to me, is the best. Just check out this buy signal before we dive into this. Check this out. Go to long. Just this buy signal alone, that's close to 5,000 pips. And a sell signal will come out for you to exit your trade right in time before it reverses. So it doesn't get better than this. So let's go ahead and dive into this. In the Trusted Signals, when you first install it, everything comes out as default. The default settings is how I run Trusted Signals, but then again, everything is fully customizable. So depending on your style of trading is really how your settings are going to be set up. It's all how you like to trade. All right, so I have the V2. Of course, the V2 is gonna be way better than the V1. If you have the V1, it's going to be your standard Trusted Signals without these extra signal settings here. So I'm using the V2, boom. You could see that the V2 algorithm is more precise, and I have the manual trading mode on. I have it on manual. So in manual, it's very similar to the scalp settings, but it really changes depending on how the market is moving. So when I put scalp trading right now, it's gonna be very similar to the manual settings. So that's what's happening right here on that scalp trading. Now, if you put swing trading, you're gonna have less signals come in and a different type of signals that allows you to swing trade. All right, sorry. I had to move this a little to the right so you could actually see the signals, how they change. I want you guys to really take notes on how this works. So again, I have it on the manual setting. The manual setting is what works for me, but if you are a scalp trader, you can go ahead and put scalp trading. Now, the scalp trading is going to change the amount of signals that come in and a little more precise. So you can then also change it to swing trading, which is going to allow you to enter as a swing trader. And then you're gonna have hold trading. So that way you can go ahead and hold your trades for longer. Each setting is a little different. Now, you have to find out what works for you. What works for me is manual trading. I like to use my mind and use the tools all together with my analysis. Don't forget that you need to have your own trade analysis together with these tools for maximum profitability. That's how you're going to benefit the most using these tools. Now, the reactivity and what this is gonna do, it's gonna change the amount of signals that come in. So if you have it at a higher amount, less signals come in. But again, I like to use the defaults. Now check this out. What's really cool, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this because this is a really cool feature. I'm gonna go ahead and hit reset settings. So it goes right back to default. But let's say you figure out what works for you and you find out that you like using instead V2 and you like to be in scalp mode. You could go ahead, go to your defaults down here and save as default. Yo! So it's really a template. You could really create your own template right here on TradingView with Trusted Signals. This is it. This is the king of alerts, I'm telling you. All right, so boom, back to default. The depth is going to be how soon or how late do you want the signals to come in. I have it again at default, but if you go ahead and ramp it up, your settings, your alerts, you'll see them move boom, there you go. So really depending on how you like to use these tools. I'm always using defaults because defaults to me are just super, super solid. But then again, the way you trade might be a little different than how I trade. So let's go ahead and reset the settings. Go back to V2. Leave these the same. And move on. Now let's go deep into the ADX filter. By turning this thing on, now all of a sudden, you're gonna have less signals come in. So let's say you don't want so many signals to come in. You just wanna really focus on those signals that are going to come in less frequent and allow you to take those precise signals. So you could go ahead and use the ADX filter. By putting the length in and raising this up, you're basically making these signals come in less. Boom, less signals coming in. So that way, let's say you don't want to have as much, go ahead and put the length up. And right here, the ADX smoothing, it's basically how much do you want the ADX filter to be applied onto the chart. So that's another great thing. Now let's go into the Show EMA Cloud. Here's the EMA Cloud. The EMA Cloud, the way it works, whenever it's blue, you're in a bullish market. So you could look for buy entries. And you could see here clearly that this blue cloud is supporting price. And price is moving up. So whenever you see blue, you already know that you're gonna be looking for buys. Like, this is super sweet. Another thing is normally all these different settings, EMA Cloud and all these different settings that Trusted Signal has to offer on just one indicator, TradingView only allows you to have X amount of indicators. So using Trusted Signals, you're getting access to a bunch of different tools, getting a bunch of different tools all in one. Here you could tell that the EMA Cloud is red, clearly. So if it's red, right, you know that you're gonna be looking for sell signals. I like to turn things off and on to see what's happening. I don't turn everything on. I'm always going into the settings, changing them, seeing what's happening, and working that way. Because if you start having a whole bunch of things in your chart, it just becomes, it's hard for you to read. You want your charts to be very, very clean. You want your charts to be as clean as possible so you're not thrown all over the place and distracted by a whole bunch of stuff. So the next is the daily range. So this is gonna give you a zone on the daily, but you're looking at it on the 1 hour chart. Look at that. So if you see it coming down here to this red line, and at the same time a buy signal comes in, you already know it's time to get inside of the market. It's time to get in there. And let alone, let's just see how this position would be like. You would put your stop loss right there by the next one and put it right here as soon as that sell signal comes out, or at the previous support on this price, or right here at the resistance, right under there, boom. You just secured 2,000 pips on US 30. It's a really great tool. Really, really great tool. I highly recommend it, and it really has changed the way that I trade. So let's go ahead and move on. This is another great tool, the daily high lows, weekly high lows, monthly high lows. We're on the higher lows on the daily, looking at it at the 1 hour chart. You could even do it for the weekly high lows. Look at that. Again, the higher the time frame, the more swing type of trader you will be. So these are really depending on what your style trading is. Now let's go into the swing points. Swing points are great indicators for lower highs and lower lows in the market for you to enter on a swing trade. So if you have this lower high come in on top of your second confirmation sell signal, you know that it's going to be a great time to enter the market. Let's just see how many pips this would be from entering at that point. Oh, the wrong one. Sorry. Short position. And we'll make it all the way down to this lower low. And that would be our exit point. Come on, man. Look at that. 3,876 pips. Let's go, bro. Nasty. These tools, I'm telling you, I highly recommend going through all these settings and turning them off and on one at a time and get a better understanding of what's happening in the market. Now look at this. Look at this. You could even turn on your session times. This alone is another indicator. So if you are limited on the amount of indicators that you can use because you're not on a pro membership on TradingView, you don't even need it. You could only buy one. You could have one trusted signals and have all these tools. So if you're a London session trader, go ahead and turn on the London session. Boom. And it even tells you the session high lows. Look at that. Session high lows in London right here. So you could use this as an indication. If you're at the low point, you know you're going to look for a buy. You're not going to look for a sell at the low point of the London session. That's like playing roulette. And yeah, it's like you don't want to do that. It's just not a good idea. You're going to stress yourself out. So this is an extremely helpful on each session. New York session. Show the New York session high lows. Boom. Look at that. Of course, you're going to want to do the New York session on US 30. US 30 is United States, Dow Jones, top 30 companies in the United States. So it would make sense to turn this on at this point. Again, session, New York, show New York session, high and lows. And boom, boom, it's done for you. Like, what else more do you want? This is really good for beginner traders and also traders who have been trading for a while and looking for those tools to give you the edge you need and extra confirmation inside the market. This is something that I normally have on all the time. I turned it off starting this video just so I could go through each one individually, but I just have this thing on all the time. Show support and resistance line. Always have this thing on. This is algorithmic. This is all happening in real time. I'm basically entering the market and exiting right on these points. That's the way I like to trade, support and resistance, and that's my style. But again, whatever works for you works for you. You got to go through all these things and really find out what style trader are you and what works for you. Another great thing is showing your trend lines. It does it all for you. Bam! Oh! Okay, come on. Yeah, so you could see here, it's a huge benefit to have these trend lines made for you if you don't really know how to properly do trend lines. And then you could base the algorithmic trend lines, and if you enjoy drawing your own trend lines and it's something that you like to do manually and don't know how to yet, you could use this as your go-to on how to do it properly. So I personally like doing my own trend lines. I'm listening to music. I have music playing, and it's very how do you say this? It's very therapeutic for me. It's like I'm just here painting my canvas while I'm listening to music. So I don't use show trend lines, but for people who don't know how to properly draw trend lines, this is a perfect thing for you to learn. So you're going to be learning and earning with these tools. Show auto fibs. This is going to give you good entries based on the Fibonacci. You could clearly see that when price came back up to this zone on the Fibonacci, would have been a perfect sell entry. Sell signal came in, price was rejected, came back up for a retest. Boom, sell on the retest and go. Look at that. Come on. Super solid. And when you're in the red zones in the Fibonacci, you're going to be looking for sells, obviously. And when you're in the blue zone, you're going to be looking for buys. Just like that. Now, let's go back into the settings and check these guys out. On the Fibonacci, you have your length, which is going to change the positioning of the Fibonacci. Left and right, how long do you want it to be? This is really cool. You could do left or right. And if you have different Fibonacci points that you would like to use, it's pretty standard, 61.8, 38.2, 78.6. These are the ones that I'm using. You can go ahead and change the ones if you find different ones that work for you. But these are the standard default that work really well, as you can see. Now, the extend lines, it's going to change how the lines appear on your chart. If you go left, it's going to take a huge portion of your screen. Just wait for it to, there you go. So now you have the lines going all the way to the left forever and ever 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 and ever. And if you go to the right, then it's to the right. Or you could choose both, and it goes all the way left and right forever and ever. And you could change the colors too if that's something that you're into. One of the first things you guys want to do is put your Heikin Ashi candles on. This works really well with the Trusted Signals trend color bar. So current trend bar color, right now it has purple. I highly recommend putting it on blue, leaving this one pink, and this one you could choose a red. Now what this is going to do, it's going to have the trend color appear on the candle. If it's red, you're obviously in a bear market. Once it's blue, it's in a bullish market. And when you see it pink, it's kind of sideways. So you definitely don't want to be entering on sideways markets. You want to be entering when it's very clear and red or blue for you to enter. So let's go back into settings. Boom. Now, for the style and color, we're going to make another video so I could go ahead and go more in depth in this. But just to go really quickly, these colors are all customizable for your EMA cloud. If you want to change the color of your buy and sell signals, if you want to change the color of your higher highs and higher lows, if you want to change the color of your session times, everything is customizable here. Actually, I don't even think that required a second video. It's pretty straightforward. So there you guys have it. This is the Trusted Signals main indicator. I think I went over everything here, and I hope you guys like this video. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. We'll have a whole bunch of more content coming soon. All right, guys, Team Trusted Signals, start winning today, and let's go.